What's up, guys? This is Tom Burkhart from car-revs Daily. Going out for a drive review in the 2018 Toyota Camry XSE V6. So I might not be the first person to drive the new Camry, but I'm going to try to provide some insight that you might not have gotten from the first round of reviews. So, 2018 Camry, what's new, what's great, and what could be better? So, Camry is unlike any Toyota front drive sedan ever before. This is actually a genuinely fun car to drive, and one that makes the absolute most of its brand new platform. So, this new platform is all new, is called TGNA, and of course is underneath the new Prius, as well as the next generation Avalon and the next generation Highlander. So this platform it's honestly fantastic. The rigidity feels like it's through the roof. It's absolutely feels about twice as rigid as previous Camrys, which really helps to make the most of the V6 power, which, to be perfectly frank, sort of overwhelmed the old Camry sometimes. So I mean, this is just all new in so many ways. The proportions are totally different for this new Camry, with the A-pillars moved more rearward and actually a steeper rake for the windshield as well. So it's definitely a striking packaging accomplishment for Toyota, and also one that really has big benefits for the driver. This car has fantastic seating position. You sit lower you can sit lower than ever before with this platform, because the actual floor is lower, so the center of gravity is lower. The engine is mounted more rearward. Even the back seat is significantly lower. Not in an uncomfortable way. It just lets the packaging and the size dimensions really make the most of themselves. So, I mean, this is a big car, and Camry in this XSE trim is certainly going Maxima hunting pretty aggressively for 2018. So Camry starts from about $23,000 and comes with a standard 4-cylinder engine making 201 horsepower, and then you have an optional V6 engine, a 3.5-liter V6 making 301 horsepower and 267 foot-pounds of torque. So that's up about 33 ponies versus last year, and we also have a brand new 8-speed automatic that's standard in all trim levels. So it's quite an accomplishment, very unlike most Toyotas that I've driven, and certainly most front-wheel drive Toyotas. Just a little fun squeal there for you, just for the fans. Really genuinely fun, genuinely engaging, and the thing that shocks most after you get in and really sense the rigidity is this incredible sport mode. So that's one of the things that's really new and really makes this a pretty engaging vehicle, and one that will entice a lot of eager drivers who might not have considered a Camry before. So this sport mode, of course, changes the throttle mapping and the shift points, but in addition, it basically cuts the steering lock to zero, or excuse me, the steering power assist to zero. If the steering is so heavy when it's in sport, it feels absolutely awesome. It feels like a genuine sports car in a really good way. Really good grip out of corners like that one, and these nice paddle shifters are pretty handy for enthusiastic driving. This new 8-speed definitely improves the efficiency, so you can get up to I think 33 miles to the gallon even with this V6 on the highway, which is awesome. That's mostly achieved through, of course, this brand new engine, but actually through the Aerodynamics package. So one of the biggest differences versus before is that the Camry has a fully shrouded underbody for all its trim levels now, and is just ridiculously aerodynamic. I don't know the exact number, but Toyota is the best they've done is about a 0.23 or 0.22. So I would say this car is probably a 0.24, and the XSE with its extra chin spoiler aggression is actually a half an inch longer than other Camrys even. So really, the platform is tremendous. So let's talk about the looks outside. They're a little striking, but it's funny, when Camry first came out last summer, I was like, whoa. But as you see more of them on the road, you get more familiar with its sort of with its face and with its overall design, and I've really come to appreciate it. On this XSE, of course, it really helps. You have 19-inch wheels, and then I have the optional two-tone paintwork, so we're celestial silver outside with a black roof. which is very cool. You can get this this black roof on the white, silver, and I think blue cars. I'm not 100% sure on the blue. But it looks really cool. Has very, very dark alloys with gloss black inner spokes and a polished single 5-spoke element. And black spoiler, sort of a black gloss black and super aggressive mesh for the nose. And it just is genuinely like aggressive and interesting and a really intriguing design that grows on you. I definitely like the tail and the profile more than I like the nose in general. I'm not a huge fan of the look of the LEDs, but love the low and high beam LED main beams, and then like the little LED blinkers. So what else is new and awesome in this Toyota? So this cabin is all new. I mean, it's all new in so many ways. Not just a new design, but brand new seats, all new infotainment, all new information architecture, totally future-proofed, 2.1 amp jacks everywhere, with wireless charging. I mean, auto hold. This thing is seriously well equipped from the cabin. And all the stuff that I kind of griped about in the past with some premium Toyotas is that like all the buttons felt ancient, and like, you know, the key fob was just like so yestertech. And I'm very pleased to report that, I mean, this is all new, all of it's brand new, but it's still super easy to use. So this like full sort of like glassy display here, you know, has the LCD behind it, which is pretty nice, and then has this obviously very swooping and interesting design for the center console, as well as a sort of a lower dashboard feel in general. So those are, I mean, this cabin feels really good. I'm not sure if you can see, but we have the red leather option, which is available in addition to like gray or black, I think. It's really fun. I've gotten a lot of comments and positive feedback from the public this week about the cabin in particular. People think it's just kind of racy and fun and unexpected when you look at the exterior, perhaps. So I've had a really good time driving this car over the last week. I think the 301 horsepower is a nice boost. If anything, this transmission sort of like, I mean, this is a good 8-speed, but is it the world's best 8-speed automatic? No, it's not. But is it like 1,000 times better than any CVT or like the 6-speed in the Sonata? I mean, yeah, it's like 1,000. It's literally 1,000 times better. So just. The 1-2 shift is a little confused sometimes, and generally, like, the paddle shifters aren't that responsive. I mean, but what can you ask? I mean, that's trying to put Camry versus a vehicle like an A4 or something. And even though the Camry starts at 23, this XSE V6 comes in at about 35. Which, even though that's a lot more than the base, I mean, this is a lot less than some of the vehicles that Camry could legitimately compare to these days. For fun to drive stakes, equipment, I mean, I love this head-up display. I'm so impressed with a lot of this car. The handling and the driving enthusiasm are definitely the things that make this the most un-Camry-like vehicle in my recollection. But there's some other stuff. So what's good, what's new? I think we covered that. So what could be better? Okay, so this is kind of hard to say, but this all new cabin is feels really rigid, and everything feels really solidly bolted together. But it rattles. There's like when you go over bumps and stuff, or like expansion joints. Let me see if I can get it. I don't know if you can hear it. It just rattles. It sounds like there's sand in every door, which is not good. And this piece of the sunroof is falling off. So it's like really rare to have quality problems in a Toyota. But you know, it's my journalistic duty to report that the cabin does not feel like it will be rattle-free for 100,000 miles, which people sort of took for granted from Toyota for many years. This thing is, even though it's really rigid and everything feels really well installed, and it has high quality touch points, yeah, I mean, it rattles. There's no other way to say that. So that is a big disappointment. And some other stuff that is going on with the Camry, it has a pretty limited range with this V6. So like even with a full tank of gas, like you might get 300 miles out of it, but
but not much more. And that's just kind of like irritating because you have to get gas a lot. And that's weird because the V6 actually has a bigger gas tank than the 4 cylinders. It's up to like 16 gallons versus like 14.8 or something. But the range is still not terrific. But on the whole, I mean, it looks awesome. It drives great. I love this heavy steering. I can't say that enough. I love how like eager the car is on turn-in, and how genuinely playful and game it is to drive hard. I mean, this is a Camry that does not blush and shy away from being driven in anger like a good sports sedan should. And I think it really outclasses the Maxima in its handling feel. It definitely never really feels as nose heavy as the Maxima. It does feel a little nose heavy, but never as heavy as the Maxima. And the rear suspension is vastly superior, and therefore the handling versus Maxima, and even like a Charger V6, which unless you start loading that Charger up, you know, it drives a little boatier. I mean, this is really a tied down and rewarding suspension and handling setup. So it's doing great out here on the handling loop. I mean, we're doing making some seriously good time. Starting to get a little bit of brake fade, but I have been driving it a little harder than most drivers will. And I'm having a ball. I mean, big smile on my face. This is an amazing car. I think if for people who haven't driven a Camry lately, or people who perhaps have never driven a Camry, this car is shockingly good. It's so good, and it really starts to impress you from, you know, the first block. The first 500 feet, you're going to be like, okay, this car is really something special. So that's awesome. I mean, really nice handling, really good steering control and composure, and genuinely a good fun time in the twisty corners. So super un-Toyota-like in a lot of ways. It really is fun to drive and fast and sporty, but maintains a really good cabin refinement and insulation and ride comfort. So that's really great. But you know, there are some un-Toyota-like things like the suspension, like the, you know, there's just like some weird noises in the cabin, and some trim pieces are not exactly permanently installed. So check out the full review over on car-revs daily.com in a couple weeks, and thank you very much for watching. See you next time.